Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a lot of good things to share with you from the brand Lacquer. So I have their Wilds of Arizona collection, I have their Halloween collection, and then I have their PolishCon limited edition polishes, all to share with you today. So all of these polishes will be debuting at PolishCon on September 15th, and then will go on pre-order after the show. And then as far as the limited edition polishes go, anything that's left over from the show will be listed on her site. So in the description box below, I will link the Rogue site, I will link their Instagram page, and I will link my Instagram page where you can see more swatches of everything from today's video. So we have 9 polishes to look at today, and let's go ahead and get started. Starting off with the limited edition PolishCon shades, we have Cherry on Top, and this is a beautiful rosy linear holographic. There are micro glitter throughout this that are those rose gold as well. So here's our first coat of Cherry on Top. This has a really good formula, no running, pooling, staining, very smooth and easy to apply. It is a little bit sheer here on this first coat, so I am going to build it up with 2. The glitter payoff in this is obviously incredible. It is an extremely opaque micro glitter polish. So here's our second coat, and this does cover completely in 2 coats for me. All of the glitter in here are pretty much relatively this teeny little micro glitter, so it's not going to dry super duper textured, but you will want a nice glossy top coat to smooth it off and a peel off base coat. So there's 2 coats. The other limited edition shade is called Stone Bridge, and this is a beautiful light gray. It has a lavender flash to it and iridescent and ultra chrome flakies. Here's our first coat of Stone Bridge, and this is very sheer here on this first coat. It does have a really good formula though, no running, staining, pooling, again, anything like that. This could potentially double as a topper, but you do have to work extremely thin to make that work, and make sure your coats are nice and even, but it is absolutely beautiful. So it builds up well on 2 coats. I am going to go in for a 3rd coat though, and the iridescent flakies in here build up really, really nicely too, so in the right lighting it looks absolutely beautiful and reflective. So this is completely opaque here in 3 coats for me. It doesn't dry textured, it all dries relatively smooth, but you will want a nice glossy top coat just to bring everything together. The hollow in here also stands out better once it's dry than when it goes on. So there is 3 coats. Moving on to their fall collection, we have Desert at Dusk, and this is a beautiful denim blue with those ultra chrome chameleon flakies. These shift from like a gold to a green to a pink to a bronze maybe, and it looks like there's a scattering of a hollow in there as well. Here's our first coat of Desert at Dusk. This is also a little bit sheer here on this first coat, but it does have a really, really good, easy to work with formula. The flakies in here, though they are larger, don't hinder the formula as in like making it hard to apply or having to arrange the flakies in any kind of way. So this is completely opaque in 2 coats for me. I could easily see needing a 3rd coat for this one though. This one you'll also want a glossy top coat to smooth everything out. Those flakies lie smooth, but they will dry a little funny if they get clumped up. So there is 2 coats. Next up we have Petrified Forest, and this is a slate gray with that same flaky formula. These are absolutely packed with ultra chrome chameleon flakies. This one also looks like it has a coppery shimmer to it. Here's our first coat of Petrified Forest, and this has the same formula as the last polish. It's pretty sheer here on this first coat, but it does build up nicely. It has a very good formula, not too thick or too thin, no running or pulling, and those flakies apply nice and evenly on their own. You do get a good amount of them out too without having to do any kind of fishing or holding the bottle upside down or anything like that. So again, this is completely opaque in 2 coats for me. Depending on your application, you may want a 3rd. You'll also want a glossy top coat here, and nothing in these flaky packed polishes dries like super textured or is difficult to remove. So just a nice glossy top coat and a regular base coat. So there is 2 coats. Next up we have Red Rock, and this is a like clay orangey red tan base and it has those same ultra chrome chameleon flakies in a pink flash. Here's our first coat of Red Rock. This has the same formula as the last two polishes, not too thick or too thin, very easy to apply. This is definitely the most sheer of the Arizona collection, so depending on your application you may want to go in for 3 coats of this. I did 2 in this video, but then when I went to take my photos I realized it was still just the tinsiest bit sheer, so if you're not super picky, 2 would be just fine, but I did do 3 for my photo and stop at 2 for the video. Again, you'll want that glossy top coat just to smooth everything out and nothing dries hard to remove or anything like that. So there is 2 coats. Lastly, from this fall collection we have Geological Wonder, and this is a teal base with those same Ultra Chrome Chameleon flakies and the scattering of hollow, and then this one also looks like it has that bright pink flash to it. Here's our first coat of Geological Wonder. And this is the most opaque in the Arizona collection. Again, a nice, easy to work with formula, very smooth, easy to apply, and these flakies really don't need any kind of manipulation. They kind of place themselves and they hang out there until you're ready to take it off. So this is completely opaque in 2 coats for me. Again, you'll want that nice glossy top coat just to smooth everything out and make it look nice and cohesive. Nothing in this dries really textured, nothing in here is hard to remove, so you don't need a peel off base coat or 2 coats of top coat or pure acetone for removal or anything wild like that. So there is 2 coats. And then moving on to their Halloween collection, we have My Life Is A Darkroom, and this is a multi-chrome polish that goes from this like green to gold to a copper. The main shift in here is this beautiful bronzy copper to the greeny gold, but then there's purple and blue at extreme angles, and then there is also a holographic effect to it. Here's our first coat of My Life Is A Darkroom. And this one is a little bit sheer here on this first coat, but it does have a really good formula, no running or pooling or staining. The hollow in here also doesn't look extremely hollow until it is dry, and then when it's dry you get the shiftiness of the base color and the shiftiness of the hollow glitter, and it's just an extremely shifty, beautiful manicure. So this is completely opaque in 2 coats for me. Depending on your application you may want to go in for a 3rd, but I really don't think that's going to be necessary. This one also will dry down a little bit dull, so you will want a nice glossy top coat to finish that off, and the hollow in here doesn't dry textured and it doesn't stick to your nails when removing. So there is 2 coats. Next up we have Never Trust the Living, and this is a light gray base absolutely packed with iridescent flakies and then holographic micro glitter. Here's our first coat of Never Trust the Living. This one's very sheer here on this first coat. This is another one that could potentially double as a topper with the right base color and the right application. I do prefer this on its own though. Built up in 3 coats is absolute perfection. Here's our second coat, and this is building up nicely, but it's not completely opaque. These flakies and the little holographic glitter pieces in here stand out so beautifully, surprisingly, against such a nice light base. I think this is absolutely stunning. So here's our 3rd coat, and this does cover completely in 3 coats. This one's going to dry pretty textured, so you may need 2 coats of a glossy top coat. This is also going to be pretty difficult to remove. There's a lot of micro glitter in here and a lot happening, so you will want either a peel off base coat or pure acetone when you're taking this off. So there is 3 coats. And lastly for today we have Betelgeuse, 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 and this is a multi-chrome base that goes from a main color being green to a blue to a purple, and then it has iridescent as well as ultra chrome chameleon flakies, and then a scattering of a hollow as well. And here's our first coat of Betelgeuse, Betelgeuse, Betelgeuse. This one's pretty sheer here on this first coat. It does build up really nicely though. This has a good formula. It's a little bit on the thinner side compared to anything else that I've worked with in today's video, but it's not thin where it's difficult to work with. It's just thin where if you do a thick coat, it might run down the side of your nails. So it's building up nicely here in 2. I am going to go in for a 3rd coat because I can still make out my nail line, and I do have a couple of light spots. But the flakies in here are beautiful. The hollow in here is beautiful. The shimmer in here is beautiful. This is just an overall gorgeous shade. So here's our 3rd coat, and this does cover completely in 3 coats. This is going to dry dull and slightly textured, so you will want a nice glossy top coat. It's going to be a little bit difficult to remove, nothing like heartbreakingly difficult, but you will want pure acetone when taking this off. So there is 3 coats. So just as a collaborative 9 polishes, these 2 are my favorites. The first one being Red Rock, so perfect for fall. I love the flakies. It's an original base color. It's not something you see all the time. Had a good formula. Red Rock is probably my favorite of all 9, but I also have to give a special shout out to my Life Is A Darkroom. I am very much back into the feel of multi-chromes. As it gets colder outside, I feel is the perfect time for multi-chromes. This one had a great formula, and the hollow in here is so beautiful, so these 2 are my favorites. And that is it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of these polishes. Let me know if you plan on picking any of them up, and let me know what your favorite was. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe if you'd like to see more from me, and I will talk to you again next time.